Hello again, welcome back to the show. This is the big episodes of the week, I talk a lot and hopefully some of you find it interesting. This week I'm going to talk about what happens to directors as their careers go on. I was originally going to do something like, what do you do when your director you like goes bad, but I think it's more interesting to actually talk about what happens to directors, because I'd say a good 70% of them you start to see them sort of fall away. Some of them just go to hell really fast, with it beggars belief. And there's other ones that it's like 30% that actually keep to their original idea themselves. I mean, last year we had First Reformed, which was Paul Schrader's one. He seemed to be the director going down. And then he come back with this, which showed he still had his skills. It was like, okay, well, Schrader's kind of in the middle where he can go down, but also can go back up. So, I mean, even if he only makes a film or two, First Reformed, a late period film, is a really good testament to his skills. But a lot of our directors just don't do that. There are some who stay consistent though. I mean, I would say someone like Bergman or Dreyer, you know, Dreyer's final film was brilliant. Dreyer's final, God knows many films are brilliant. He had to make them slowly. But some of the ones I think are the best, like Odette and Gertrude, come at the end of his career. They're just beautiful films. They're so well crafted. You get Bergman, Fanny Alexander, and then you'd Sarabande. Sarabande wasn't his best film, but it was still a really strong film to go out with. You know, Bresson went out with Lord John, amazing film, which is, translation is money, you know, and it's all about consumerism and how it affects people, and it's a stunner. I mean, Bresson was one of the directors who never went down. He went out of fashion for a bit, but he never lost his core principles of what he was making. I mean, there are some directors like that nowadays, I think. I mean, someone David Cronenberg, who doesn't always get the critical praise. He's at ups and downs critically. But if you look at his early stuff, really his later stuff, he's still a consistent director. I mean, some of the themes have changed, but there's still a commitment to making good films, to making thought-provoking films. I mean, like Cosmopolis was all about the financial crisis and all about the craziness that goes through people's minds who work in this industry. And it was great, it was very existential at the same time. There was Map to the Stars, which was terrific, Dangerous Method, which was really interesting. I mean, these were really strong late period films. I mean, Cronenberg actually had a harder period, was in the middle, when he was just like the Men Butterfly, where he was trying to work himself out again because he was so changing. So in the 90s he was changing, but he hadn't quite worked certain things out, but soon he kind of locked in what he was doing, so it was great. But I mean, a lot of directors don't have that kind of graceful period. I mean, I'm sure there are plenty of others that we could anyone who has other suggestions of directors who remain consistent, just put them in the comments. You know, I'm just talking the ones I think of, you know, as people who are consistent. They're just like, they do their thing and that's it, and it doesn't really matter. I mean, you can do a thing and still go downhill, but you know, there's some directors who do their thing and still remain consistent because they're just focused on certain things and that's it, and they haven't given into, like, they'd rather not make the film than make a compromised film. And sometimes it's just talent, and maybe people lose collaborators or people lose their ideas. The ideas aren't as strong anymore, they've worn themselves down and there's no freshness anymore. That happens a lot with directors. But some remain consistent, but the majority don't. I mean, the majority is kind of tragic how a majority just kind of, you look at the later stuff and you go, that's not so good. Even directors I really like. I mean, example, Dario Argento. I'm a big Dario Argento fan from the 70s and 80s. 90s onwards, it goes to go down. Some of the later stuff goes really down. Argento's Dracula is, as Daisuke Pepe said, is so bad it's good. And I agree, I thought I was the only one who thought that. I'm glad someone else thinks that. Everyone else just seemed to say it was awful. But I mean, his career, I mean, if you look at his first half, I mean, he's almost like the De Niro of directors in the sense that his first half career is so great, and then the second half is so, what the hell was that? You know, it was just like such an extreme, it's almost like a different person made it. Like a lot of the style and a lot of the craftsmanship just seemed to have gone completely. And it's like, well, what happened? I think some directors just get tired. Or they've just done the thing and it becomes a job to them at some point. Same with actors. Some actors, you tell they've lost the spark somewhere along the line. And other actors just continue to be interested. But directors kind of, you can have the extreme of Argento as against someone like Dreyer. You know, the Dreyer's one end, Argento's the other end, where both great directors, but one of them really trashed their reputation with later films. But there's other ones who are kind of in the middle though. You've got people who aren't making bad films, but they're making kind of meh films. The king of this is Scorsese. Scorsese's kind of, I think, pretty much after Age of Innocence. Maybe Kundun, Casino and Kundun were still good. There were strong films. They weren't top level Scorsese, but the films I really like. But after that, there's no way you can't notice a massive come down in their skill of care in the films. I mean, Bringing It to Dead, even with Schrader, and it never really worked because it was, Schrader pointed out, it was overproduced. And the film wasn't gritty enough, and he just felt like he was missing stuff that he should have been focused on. And that lack of focus is the thing I think someone Cronenberg still got that Scorsese really has lost. And he's just like, he's putting scenes together, and it's like, it's half good. I mean, there's bits, little moments in there that's good, but then there's some other bits are really missing. It's like, well, how can you miss this? This is you're a professional director. How can you miss, you know, the fact that you have a plot that leads somewhere then just goes away and then another plot comes up and down, you know, it's like, and look at Gangs of New York. Gangs of New York is like spaghetti junction of plots, none of which are, some are started then fall away, some go towards completion then fall away. I mean, DiCaprio's character is a different character in the second half of the movie, but it's never explained really in any detail that actually makes emotional sense. The Aviator's the same, it just kind of falls away after the first half. The Aviator was originally a Michael Mann film, and Scorsese took it over. Michael Mann was doing Ali. And Ali's a much better film than The Aviator. Ali's very flawed, but it's still a Michael Mann film. But I'll get to Michael Mann soon. But Aviator is like a film that started off kind of confident and then just seemed to linger on and on and on. And it's like, why are we seeing this? Because it happened in Howard Hughes' life. But why are we actually seeing it in narrative terms? Because it happened in Howard Hughes' life. There's no dramatic thrust, and that just continued through a lot of his DiCaprio collaborations. There was this lack of dramatic focus. You get to the end and think, what was the point of this film? I mean, Departed's the same. Departed's a remake of Infernal Affairs. Infernal Affairs is much better. Salted Wound did a video on this like a few days ago, so let him rant about it. I ranted for about a year about that film, so I'm done ranting. Shut around I couldn't even finish. I mean, it's like, it's bad. Scorsese film you can't even finish because it's so horrible. You know, he's come back a little bit in recent years. You know, Wolf of Wall Street, Hugo and The Silence are all better films. At least they've got a beginning, middle, end. You know, they've got a point. You feel the director of them cared of the film he's making, but it's also like a lot of the skill had been atrophied. Like, Wolf of Wall Street is way too long for what it's telling. It should have been 2 hours. It really would have been a much better 2 hour film than it was a 3 hour, because at a certain point you're like, okay, I've got the point, now you're not 40 minutes of excess. Why do you need all that? Just make sure the excess is very clear and you can get it and you can move on. But no, it's a great 2 hour film and a body of a 3 hour film. Hugo is the same, it should have been shorter. I mean, because it's that thing of the older directors of, it has to be epic. It doesn't really have to be epic. It needs to be clear. I mean, Scorsese's better films like Raging Bull was like 2 hours long. Taxi Driver is less than 2 hours. but they were very clear where they were going. His later films are not clear where they were going. Even some of the good films which he get praised for, that was a film that was too long. That film really got to the point and then meandered through the second half. It was telling you the story of a downturn, but a director could have, Scorsese could have actually made that more interesting, made it more precise. Instead it became this sort of lumbering thing. I'm not the greatest Goodfellas fan. So with Scorsese now, it's just a style. And he gets a free pass in his narrative problems. I mean, in the 90s he was truly trying. Like Age of Innocence, a guy really trying. I guess a really terrific film, underrated. Some of the 90s films he's still really trying. But at some point he just seemed to have given up, or just settled for the paycheck and made studio films. Because all these DiCaprio films are studio films. He may have originated them, but at some point he had to toe the line for the big budget. And the films suffer because they're not really films. Where the films about all the things that are interesting, but the subject matter aren't there. And the bits that are there are just the pretty imagery. But the character stuff you really need isn't there. And that's the problem with a lot of directors. They just get seduced by studio films. Or they can do what they want, like George Lucas. I like George Lucas, but you look at the prequels, you can tell he wasn't told no because it was his own money, and he needed someone to say, that's not a good idea. Preserve some mystery, please. He just needed someone to come in to say no, no, no. You know, I really like George Lucas, I'm really sympathetic towards him. I think he gets a lot of bad, but you see, brutalised by Star Wars fans because he doesn't do exactly what they want. But he still was doing good work. He still made Star Wars films, he made Indiana Jones films. He produced things like Mission Man things and Ran, or it was Ran, or King of Musha. He was putting money into a lot of interesting directors, a lot of interesting films. He was developing stuff, he was doing a lot of stuff. And he comes back and makes a couple of films that aren't as good as the films he made at his peak. And it's like a war crime. That's the thing now, is like, one of my points is, just accept the directors past their peak, enjoy their peak, and then move on. There's other directors out here now who are at their peak, but enjoy them instead. And accept what's past, and cherish what's past, but then you don't have to praise Scorsese for everything he does. You can't say that The Silence isn't as good as the original, because it's nowhere near. It's a remake, and it's not as good as the original. Scorsese remakes films I love all the time. He remade Cape Fear. I remember even with this before, but I'm still kind of annoyed. He remade Cape Fear, he remade Infernal Affairs, he remade The Silence. It's like, if I really love a film, he'll remake it and fuck it up. There's not a rant. Yeah. So have you seen Salty Ronin's video about the remakes? Scorsese did that to me 3 times with films I love. 3 times. I mean, the last one wasn't so bad. Silence at least was a decent film, but it's still not a patched original. Sorry, I'm the right there. Right, so, yeah, I mean, the directors, you just have to accept the peak's a peak. I mean, George Lucas, THX is terrific. American Graffiti is amazing. So Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back is still one of the best sequels ever made. Return of the Jedi is a bit flawed. Raiders of the Lost Ark, Temple of Doom. I mean, he chooses Mission Man. It's like, that should be enough. But, I mean, he brought Harrison Ford to be a movie star. He's helped a lot with other careers. I mean, shouldn't that be enough? But no, these 3 films you made, we didn't like. They weren't perfection. You're a scumbag. That seems to be the attitude. It's just like, grow up. I mean, there's other directors I love that went past their peak. I mean, George Romero. I love George Romero, but his later films weren't as good. Like, it passed the point where he was really dying to make some films, but he's still producing decent work. They weren't great, but they're still decent, so just get over it. Just enjoy what it is and just say, okay, that's a director who's past their peak. They're still professional. I still say those later Dead films are still more fun than DiCaprio's Scorsese films. You know, at least they don't drag on for 3 bloody hours. Then there's, John Carpenter. I love John Carpenter, but everyone knows after In the Mouth of Madness, his peak was over. You know, I mean, Village of the Damned was not a good film. I've seen it very recently. It's not a good film. It's enjoyable, Holcomb, but it's not a good film. And it's just a great 20-year run with a few flawed films, but most of them are brilliant. I mean, you've got Halloween, Dark Star, Salt Precinct 13, The Fog, Escape from New York, The Thing, Big Trouble in Little China, Starman, Prince of Darkness, They Live, and The Method of Madness. That's an amazing run of films. That's a good director should be lucky to have half those good films. And yet, okay, his last few films like Vampires were entertaining, but they weren't amazing. Ghost of Mars didn't work. So what? He still had 20 years of great stuff. And because he went past his peak and worked for a little, but then realised his past his peak and stopped working. That's a crime. I mean, at least he stopped working eventually when he realised this isn't working for me anymore. We'll do something else. But no, it's a war crime almost. So if you can't get perfection in late career, you're not allowed to make films. Even Antonioni was getting shit for making like Beyond the Clouds or that Eros with Soderbergh and stuff. And they were still terrific works, but nah, you're not as genius. I expect genius from you. So it has to be amazing or you're scum. And boy, do critics love to have that. Well, they were good once, but not anymore. I'm going to rip them to shreds. It's very pathetic. I mean, look what happened to Eyes Wide Shut. Kubrick's last film. It's a really interesting film, but it wasn't exactly what they wanted, so it got trashed, even though he just died. And it's like, whoa, that's insane. And now let's look back on it as a really interesting film. It's not his best film. No one thinks Eyes Wide Shut is his best film, but it's still a very interesting final film. So you get directors' careers who, yeah, I mean, Kubrick didn't go out with something like Gertrude, which was a masterpiece, or Love John, but he still went out with a really good film. You know, and yet Scorsese gets a pass. I don't know why that happens. I mean, one of the things that you can compare someone like Scorsese with is Spielberg. Spielberg, again, is a director who you would say he's past his peak. He's not making as good of films as he used to make. I mean, he peaked in the 70s, 80s and 90s. In the 2000s, have had some interesting work, but they're not the best work of his career. They're not the best. But he seems to have relaxed into that. He seems to know that, okay, I'm not making the best stuff in my career. But he seems to be enjoying himself and making the films he wants to make. I mean, some of the Ready Player One was not a great film, but you can see the joy of making the filmmaking in it. He used the imagery, CGI imagery, to do these weird fantastical things. Even though the script wasn't that good, it was just a joy to watch how he put it together. If you look at something like The Adventures of Tintin, it's a beautiful animated film. It's wonderful. It's not Raiders of the Lost Ark, but it's still a wonderful film. So I think Spielberg's actually just relaxed and actually making enjoyable films. He's just enjoying himself now. He's just like, I'm not going to be too bothered. He can make something utterly trashy like The Kingdom of the Crystal Skull and recover fine. I mean, Lincoln was terrific. He's done a lot of good stuff. The Terminal was very underrated. I mean, there's been a couple of films he's made like Munich, which I've really hated, but most of the time he's consistent entertaining, and he seems to have relaxed since he won the Oscar. He just doesn't seem to be a lot of dumb pretensions. He just seems to be relaxed. He's like, either like him or you don't, and he's fine with that. And it's like, it's a much more fun career to watch now than Scorsese was. Scorsese was more interesting to watch in the 80s and 90s, but Spielberg is much more fun to watch now compared to Scorsese. So at least he's still making fun films. I should try to stop Scorsese bashing, but I can tell I'm frustrated by Scorsese and where he's gone. Like we expected better from Scorsese. That's the one I'm yelling about other people being harshly criticised. I do the same with Scorsese. I mean, I'm not above it. I'm never claiming to be above it, but I mean, he's not even my favourite director from the 70s or 80s, but it was like, you had a lot of talent, and you know, certain people you should have stuck with, and you never did. I mean, he should have stuck with Schrader. Schrader and him would have been a lot better off sticking together, at least some of the films, and consistently working together. Because I think they would have put the best of each other and grown together in interesting ways, but I think egos got in the way, which meant See, the way Paul Pressburger worked was Pressburger did the scripts and Paul did the visuals. Imagine that if Scorsese and Schrader stuck together and you got Schrader's laser focus in Scorsese's imagery. You might have had a really good run of films. Instead they've split apart. Schrader's kept interest in being not the most brilliant director, but if he gets a subject he can really deliver. You know, Scorsese's kind of meandering without good scriptwriters. Scorsese's sort of like Tim Burton. Really, Tim Burton's another one who needs a good writer and usually gets dull writers. Tim Burton's careers went a lot. I'm not going to go into Tim Burton because it's like everyone knows it's like great early period. It's meandered a bit. He's always capable of bringing it back, but then he's always just capable of just doing something and you think, what the hell was that? So you never quite tell with him. He's all over the place. Tim Burton's weird. Even someone I really love like Brian De Palma. I love De Palma, but his peak ended with Femme Fatale. I mean, he was working from the 60s to the 2000s. He was doing some great work and he did some stuff that didn't work. But you never knew what to expect from him next, and he was always really energised as a director. And he was always something interesting with him. And then after Femme Fatale, he went to Europe. Studios stopped making the films he was making. I don't think he was really engaged with the studio system anymore, with special effects and stuff. And he's made stuff like Black Dahlia, Passion, Redacted, which are still interesting films, but they're not really peak De Palma. There's no way you can look at them and say that's De Palma at his best. And you just have to accept that. He's got 2 films coming out. I'm going to go and enjoy them. I don't expect them to be his best work. I think his best work's in the past. I can accept that. I can enjoy his best work when I watch it. You just have to let it go and just accept that. You know. But you know, it's kind of difficult when they get still getting praised for bad work. I think that's what bugs me with Scorsese. He's getting praised, but he's not doing the work that deserves the praise. And that's my big bugbear really with him. But yeah, but that's the thing with directors, is they all have interesting careers, and it's like, I think you really have to let it go and let people accept directors aren't going to be good forever. And look at John Frankenheimer. I covered him earlier in another video where his career in the 60s was great, then went, ooh. There's still good stuff in between, but there's a lot of trash. You just have to accept that. A director can have a peak, and then they can lose their focus and just start doing films that they shouldn't be doing, that aren't suited to them, and they're just not realising it. I mean, a lot of directors, when they do that, they don't realise it until they're in the film and it's like, oh, this is a mistake. I mean, that's a one-off, doesn't matter, but if it's a consistent thing with them, it's like, they have no self-control. So that's the thing, a lot of directors just, it's just a complicated thing of talent and what you do with the talent. And I think it just depends how consistent you're going to be and how focused you are and how much you care over time. Because I think people can care early on in their careers. That drive gets them to the career, but I think at a certain point maybe the process of making these films burn them out so much that they can't continue at a certain level. Then there's other directors like Ridley Scott who were never that good in the first place, but got respect, and now they're making even more mediocre versions of the original kind of mediocrity, you know. I mean, like Blade Runner and Alien are good films, but they're only good films, they're not great films, you know. And he's always been elevated way above his level, even from an early stage, and now it's like, why is he not making film? Why is his Alien prequel not good? Why is his recent films not that good? It's like, well, they were never that good, they were just okay. You know, so there's that thing as well. I hope you enjoyed this. I've realised I've just started moving off course entirely. I just want to cover directors and how strange careers can get. I think directors are a weird bunch, so just enjoy the best work and don't get too stupid about the worst work. It's not worth it because there's always hundreds of directors worth watching that you haven't watched. Just go to like the Middle East, there's good directors there. Japan, Asia, like Korea. There's tons of great directors and a lot of great Asian directors just now. Let's go to look in Latin America. You've got to read subtitles, but who cares? There's still a lot of talent all over the place and you just look for them. So if you get bent out of shape because a director like isn't as good as it used to be, director you like. There's even English speaking directors like Wes Anderson, Paul Thomas Anderson, who are doing interesting stuff. Again, nothing's perfect with them either, but it never was. There's always more around. There's always older directors like Howard Hawks that you can go and see. He's another one who kept consistent throughout his career. There's a lot of good directors around. So even if your favourites fall away, there's always going to be more coming up. If you show some, initiative, you'll find some more you'll love. Just look for them. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Any comments you've got, please put them below on the comments. Any directors you think have fallen away. I know I don't ever say this in the end of videos, comments, I always forget to say it, so I'm saying it now. If you have any comments, just put them in the bottom and I'll answer them. Hopefully my answers won't be too stupid, but I guarantee nothing. Well, I'll speak to you soon.